Hello, this is Dread, and in today's video topic, I thought I'd do a quick little update on the Stormweaver build. That is because recently, if you do not know, Cast on Freeze and a lot of the other meta gems were nerfed. Now, of course, everyone who was using these saw it from a mile away because it was really strong. Being able to spam a bunch of comments or whatever, all the Cast on Freeze builds are worse for wear because of this. And because of that, people were assuming that my build was dead, specifically the Stormweaver. I'm like, no, the build's doing just fine. I've been grinding all day. So the footage in the background currently actually is a tier 14 map with +2 map level. So I'm doing like T16 content currently, well, quote unquote T16 content, whatever you want to call it, right? With the build, and we're only level 85 on a 5-link. Now it looks a little pain champ, and that's just mainly because, like I said, we're still on a 5-link. Unfortunately, I decided to play a build that requires your levels to get your 6th link instead of being able to afford a 6th link. I have plenty of currency to afford a 6th link if I want to, but I don't believe I can get it until, of course, I level, because I'm pretty sure it's being forced to 5 links and then eventually go to 6 links once we actually get to level. So cool, we just need to level a few more, we can get our 6th link, and we'll have plenty of damage to deal with T16 content. I also need to do a few upgrades on the build here and there. Mainly my wand's very bad. But yeah, people are wondering, hey Dread, Cast on Freeze got nerfed, how does it affect the build? It actually buffed the build in a few ways. So one of the biggest problems that I was having with the old build was the mana consumption was crazy while clearing, because what would happen is your storm, it would freeze like everything, and you'd shoot out like 10 Eye of Winters. Turns out that's not very good on your mana. I didn't need 10 Eye of Winters, because the way that this build works is as the moment I put a storm on an enemy, they are going to die, because the storm lasts like 10 seconds or whatever, and it freezes enemies. So as long as there is a storm under enemies' feet, they will die eventually. That's why you can see me in the footage here, like I'll walk around enemies that I already know that are frozen and going to die, and go and focus on different enemies because of that. And eventually they will die because we have plenty of damage. Now, of course, like I said, we need more damage. We're going to work on that. That's actually what the next thing I'm going to do. But yeah, the build's doing just fine, but we were able to actually unspec out of mana and focus on just more survivability, because let me tell you right now, survivability is king in endgame right now, or at least early on, because not breaking your maps is way more important than shaving off like a minute off your clear time. Right now, maps take absolutely forever. It doesn't matter how fast your build goes, you will spend a decent amount of time in maps, like 8 to 10 minutes, depending on what you're playing and what layout you're doing and stuff like that, because you have to clear the map. You have to complete it by killing all the rares, meaning you have to walk all the way over the map, and the maps are very big. Even people who have been like playing the game, playing PoE in general for years and years and years, like Grimro, for instance, right, just in his video today, is like, hey guys, I would show you a map right now, but they take like 8 to 10 minutes. So because of this, and because you die when you lose the map, you need to focus on not dying. Not dying is the #1 problem. So what I did was I focused more on defenses of late, just to make sure that I don't die, because I don't like losing maps, man. And then now that I feel pretty good about my survivability, which I do, by the way, the survivability is good enough for T16 maps, apparently, it seems. Now we can focus on doing more damage. One of the biggest things that helped me a lot was I upgraded some of the rare pieces that I had, because I started making a lot more currency because I'm doing red maps and stuff like that. So I managed to actually upgrade and get to res cap for most of my resistances other than chaos res. Chaos res is actually the next res I need a cap. But yeah, getting the res cap is the difference between doing tier 10 maps and doing tier 16 maps comfortably. You need res cap. It doesn't matter like what other gear you have. You can have like maybe chop off 500 HP. If you're not res capped, you're probably going to die eventually, and dying is bad. dying is very, 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 very bad right now in the current PoE 2 endgame because of the way that the mapping system works. So you definitely want to make sure that you are chunky enough, and then you can focus on damage. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Hopefully we get to level 90, then I can finally get my 6th link. I can finally focus my build on doing more damage, and then we can go do some bosses. At least that's my current plans. I'm trying to currently find all the bosses. I have no idea where they are. I'm currently searching for them by going to every tower and like going to the 4 corners of the map, but I still haven't found them, so I'm just more focused on grinding maps and stuff like that. So if you want to see the updated planner, I would heavily suggest going to the link in the description below, because I'm working for Mobalytics and we're making guides together, and there's a guide on this build specifically. It's been updated for my current gear choices, but with all that being said, let's go in game and talk about the build more in detail, talk about what I changed. Here we are in game with the character, so let's talk about what I changed mostly. So first things off, I was able to dump all the mana recovery nodes here. I was not able to dump the nodes here because I need a little bit more mana recovery, but I was able to dump the nodes here. And I also anointed Royal on my amulet. So if we look over here, I anointed Royal. Royal's really cheap right now for the 3 different things. Last I checked, Disgust was 7x and Greed and Ire are both like 1x or whatever. Just to get that extra area of effect, and then it also let me just dump these points so I could focus my points elsewhere. Now what's interesting though is I was trying to actually increase my survivability with these with this anoint, but the problem is this node here is very expensive. Sufferings are like 70x right now, which is a lot for an anoint, especially for an amulet I might like stop using here soon. We'll see. So like calibration sucked, and then I thought, hey, let's try Ancient Aegis. Ancient Aegis is actually pretty cheap to anoint. It just gives you a bunch of energy shield from equipped body armor. Guess what? It's bugged. It's not working right now. So right now I opted in going for the area to save us like 3 points currently, which is great. Now with all these points that I got from that and leveling, what we have done is we have gone down here, we've grabbed all the extra energy shield here, we've gone down here and grabbed the crit chance and the elemental percent damage if we crit recently, and even more elemental damage and resistance. The resistance is like the best part of this node, to be honest. And it also let us grab another jewel socket. Now for our jewels here, we actually went for energy shield, percent damage, and mana regen on this one. Skill, this one's a really good one. Damage, max energy shield, and skill effect duration, really big, because skill effect duration is a multiplicative modifier on single target for us. Same thing with the jewel over here, percent damage, energy shield. That's where you can get a lot of energy shield for free by doing a bunch of jewels, and that's like the main difference. I did also change this setup a little bit. I actually dumped this in the beginning and I went for more of a setup like this, mainly to grab the mana regen and to save myself a bunch of points, because we didn't need this cast speed down here, but we definitely wanted to go through these nodes and make sure we're grabbing them. This part's really ugly. I would like to eventually dump this, but right now it's just so much spell damage, it's hard to dump. But one day we'll dump this. And I also grabbed a little bit of extra crit here because we needed a little bit extra crit since we dumped it here. But these crit nodes are more efficient than these crit nodes because it's not that much crit, while this is like a bunch of crit in a very small cluster. So that's pretty much it. What I changed, like I said, grabbing most of this, grabbing an anoint to save us points here, and then of course respecking down here to make this more efficient. And that's pretty much it for what we did there. Now, let's talk about what I changed on gear. Mainly, I just res capped myself. I just focused on getting res capped. I got res capped on my helmet. I got more res on my helmet, and I accidentally got some rarity, which is cool. Chest did the same. The boots, just more res. I did actually go for a Levinstone to give us another plus level on our storms here. So if we actually go up here, so right now we're at 1.5k. If I take this off, it should be working. Yeah, 29. Should be working. I don't know why it's not showing that. Seventeen. $17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 15. I don't know why it's not working, but I know it's working because I did the tests and I did the damage. Like, the level of elemental storm is going up, so we are getting damage from that. I don't know why it's being weird like that, but we're definitely getting the damage for that for sure. Weird. I have no idea what's going on there, but yeah, we are getting the damage. We are at a level 29 elemental storm. Oh, maybe we can see it here. Okay, do this. There you go. That's where it shows. Yeah. So we're getting more damage here. Eventually we're going to have like a level 31 once this levels up one more time. I think at level 20, I believe this will give us the 5th link, hopefully. I'm hoping to God, because oh my God, I would like to have my 5th link, please. That's kind of the whole point of playing this, is not having to buy a 6th link. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that. I also upgraded my Dodra's tenure. I actually managed to snag someone who corrupted it with an extra socket for a little bit extra res, just to help us out with our res capped. Now, the main things that we're looking to improve currently is we're looking to improve our wand. This could be better. It could have more damage rolls on it, better damage rolls on it too. So that'd be cool. Our mana sustain is nowhere near as bad as it was before, so we can actually dump some of that maximum mana, or that maximum mana roll entirely, maybe get some mana elsewhere, and then we can actually focus on having more damage, right? On our wand, right? That'll be great. We're also missing some chaos res. Chaos is like really fucking us hard in the ass right now, and the only way to deal with this is to get better res elsewhere, and then change out our runes eventually by getting new gear to chaos res runes. That's the current plan anyways, or maybe getting a better ring with chaos res on it. I'm not entirely sure. We might drop the Levin stone. I'm not entirely sure. It is a decent amount of damage, but we might end up dropping it here soon. But the damage is nice, so like we'll see when we get there. But some chaos res would be appreciated, and the solar amulet's been really great. And that's pretty much it. One other thing actually I did do is I got another what is it? Another tier 5 gem. Another lesser jewels orb, the one that gives you a 5 link, and I actually put chain on our main Eye of Winter. Now that we're not really focused on Eye of Winter doing enough damage, and we don't need to freeze as often because we're not doing the cast on freeze stuff as much, we can actually go with chain and crit more often with our Eye of Winters, and actually get a bunch of extra elemental storms this way, because it just helps our clear out in terms of getting enough crits. And that's pretty much it for the character. That's pretty much it for the update. With all that being said, if you want to see the planner, go ahead and go down in the description below. Go to the Mobilytics link. All that being said, this has been Dread. Off to go do something else. Bye.